All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. And check out its local search or city search, see if either of them got BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video here in the profile, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white, got our highest intent people way over on the left. There's the people searching on Google and social search for, boudoir photo shoot in their city. And they're searching that literally right now. And we talked about that here with BSS. Those are the only videos we talk about here. And way over on the right, we got the lowest intent peeps. So those are the peeps that ain't searching for a boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. And many of them, most of them actually have no idea what the heck boudoir even is. So we reached them with, interruption ads via Facebook and Instagram. But we only talk about that on our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And right now we're currently only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. So when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google, 0 slots extra bad because approximately 80% of Google searches never reach page 2. So they're page 1 and done searches. And as a result, for on page 2, we're invisible to approximately 4/5 of the market. So, our business is dying. We'll be dying pretty fast. And as a result, only 1 slot on Google page 1 is bad as well because, there's 10 organic slots page 1 on Google, and there's probably gonna be 9 other boudoir photographers, and guess what? Everyone else is probably gonna have 1 slot, so we don't stand out. And what's a buyer gonna do? They're gonna click open everyone's website, get a quote from everyone, price shop everyone, compare everyone, blah, 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 negotiate, drive down margins, ask for a lower price. It's really, really, kind of awful for businesses. And 0-1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are, number 1, market saturation, and number 2, the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, yeah, most people know about this. Over time, people get new iPhone, they get new cameras, and some of those peeps, they throw up the Google Maps, my business profile. They say, yeah, I shoot boudoir now. Some, they also throw up their websites on Google, or throw up their websites saying they're a boudoir photographer, and they're trying to rank page 1 on Google, competing with us, and they're posting them in the mom Facebook groups saying that, basically saying that they offer boudoir shoots now. So it's basically, saturation, more boudoir photographers, more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single seller. That happened a ton during COVID. A lot of people lost their job. But guess what? Everyone's got a super powered smartphone with awesome camera. So a ton of flood of boudoir photographers came into the market. Now, falsely page 1 equality, basically no one knows about this yet. This is where boudoir photographers have basically accepted, or kind of assumed that every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots page 1 on Google, and as a result, maybe they're in slot 8 on page 1. Then there's some market saturation. Some people ranked above them in their new websites. Now they're slot 3 on page 2, and they're like, oh well, it's normal. Every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slot on page 1 on Google. And so sitting there hoping that a few of those people, delete their website and Google de-indexes it so they can hopefully get back onto page 1. But this is 100% the wrong belief, the wrong thought process, because we've actually learned through testing that Google will give us as many slots on page 1 as we want, as we put in the effort for. So, and we've learned this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days using our new methodology we developed. So that's why I know the false belief of page 1 quality is exactly that, a false belief. Next, we know a boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. So yeah, BSS 0-1 slots page 1 Google search. So we got 0 slots for invisible, approximately 80% of Google searches, approximately 80% of the market. obviously we're disappearing. If we only got one slot on page one of Google, we blend in with everyone else. Everyone else has got one slot on page one of Google. We're not looking at anything special. We're essentially invisible as well. In both these cases, disappear and boudoir photographer is literally a warning light, a flashing signal, a canary in the coal mine, where it means our boudoir photography business itself is on its way to disappearing. So what we've discovered is BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And we discovered this because we invented it. And it works exactly as it says. We saturate social search with the highest boudoir buyer intent keywords in our city. So we rank there as many slots as we can. And this is kind of like the ice or the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains on the backside, the east side down in South America. So that snow, what it does is it melts off the backside. And when it melts off the backside, it goes into small streams, forms small rivers, and eventually all that water collects into the Amazon River. The Amazon River is page one on Google. But everything starts up top with social search saturation, S cubed methodology. And this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually allow them to have a chance to still grow their business in the presence of massive and increasing market saturation. The only other, and to give them that shot in a relatively quick time frame, the only other thing solution I've heard for that, solving this problem, is actually have a large, well-known brand, but that takes like 5 to 10 years, so that kills the relatively quickly kind of property. And we ain't got 5 to 10 years, dude. AI's here. AI's taking people's jobs. We got to fortify our position in the market right now. And actually, through my estimation, I believe SQ methodology can actually speed up the creation of a large, well-known brand by, my estimate is 8x, 8 times normal. It's because we're going to be seen on so many surfaces, ranking so many places, being seen everywhere. That's my estimates. So imagine if you're you got a large, well-known brand and you're using SQ methodology. I mean, you're basically essentially unbeatable. So now we're going to go through an example of basically of, let's say we're in, all right, we are going to Salt Lake City, Utah, SLC. Let's say there's 1 million boudoir photographers there. We're one of them. Everyone's got their, boudoir photographer website. And they say that, well, everyone's trying to rank page one on Google, so massive competition there. And we're like, dude, we ain't got no brand. We actually got SQ methodologies are our only hope to compete here. So let's say we crank up SQ methodology to the max, and we're ranking for the first 300 keywords for the highest boudoir buyer intent keywords in our city. And we're taking the first 300 slots on social search, which then flows onto Google search. And Google search is, 10 slots per page, 10 organic slots. So we are, we are actually taking basically the first 30 pages on Google. So basically anytime any boudoir buyer searches for boudoir anywhere in our city or digitally, we're basically the only one they can find on social search or Google search. So whose business will be growing even if there's 1 million total boudoir photographers in the city? Most likely ours, because we're essentially the only one that can be found. We're blocking everyone else out. So, and whose businesses will be disappearing and, slowing down? Obviously, the 999,999 other boudoir photographer competitors in Salt Lake City, Utah. So this is, that'd be like S cubed to the max, but this is the opportunity S cubed methodology gives a chance to happen by using it. Now, once you're with S cubed methodology, we have page one visibility, P1V. So obviously we get the initial benefit of more slots page one on Google. We also get another initial benefit, which actually boudoir photographers really like this one, where every new slot we get on Google page one, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page one, effectively making them invisible. Because again, now we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page two. They're page one and done searches. So we're essentially making these boudoir photographers invisible to approximately 80% of the market. So the bulk of the market, basically, 4/5 of people, that's basically everyone. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. And this is where the GBC universe recommends having 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 of Google search. That's because everyone else, all the other boudoir photographers, basically everyone else can have 1 slot, so we're going to be looking way better than them. Our 3 slots to their 1. And the off chance, a very, very rare chance, somebody has 2 slots, yeah, we're going to be dominating them as well. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. We finally have a solution, S cubed methodology. We achieve page 1 visibility, we become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Now my results using S cubed methodology here. So I want to rank for the term right here, BLCS boudoir. I wanted to dominate page 1 for this. So I started with 0 out of 10 slots, page 1, Google search. I utilized S cubed methodology for 10 straight days. And let's see my results. So we got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So from 0 to 10 slots, Google search page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots, Google search page 1 in only 10 days, purely utilizing S cubed methodology. All right, main event here. Gonna check out this boudoir photography business. Gonna see if it's local search, city search, if we got BSS here. All right, so we're going to Pooler, Georgia, then Savannah, Georgia. All right, Pooler, Georgia. Boom, we got one. All right, we got one. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 local search. Check Savannah. Let's check Savannah. Boom, we got 1 Savannah. So we got 1 in our city search. All right, so local search, we got 1 out of 10. City search, we got 1 out of 10. So we got BSS for both boudoir search sameness. And for both of them, we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 of Google search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning, you've went and you've done your local search, your city search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. You noticed you either had BSS, so you have BSS for, either one or both of those searches, or you are, you're not reaching the GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google for, again, either 1 or 2 of those slots. And you've accepted that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. And you've actually seen Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. So you're saying, okay, now SQ methodology makes sense, and you're seeing that this is the only path forward for yourself, and you've actually been waiting for something like this. And you're liking the initial benefits more, page 1 links on Google. You're liking the second initial benefit, which is actually like the second one a little bit more, which is you're able to kick your competitors off of Google, make them invisible, page 2 and deeper. And you understand the market saturation. Yeah, more, new gear eventually over time. More people hop on to become boudoir photographers, so it gets harder and harder over time. But you're looking ahead and you're like, man, AI is currently taking people's jobs. And last time people lost jobs, COVID, a new flood of boudoir photographers came in because everyone's got a smartphone with a great camera. So it's easy to start saying shoot boudoir down now, offer it cheaply, kill margins for everyone. All that are competing boudoir photographers kind of just annoy, basically like take up slots page 1 on Google. And so you're seeing, okay, you're seeing more and more people are going to be entering the marketplace above and beyond the people getting new gear, forced to because of losing their job due to AI. So you're like, okay, we need to actually fortify our slots on page 1 and actually have so many backup links that Google wants to rank us on page 1. But since there's only 10 slots, literally it cannot rank us anymore. But those backup slots will literally be like preventing current competitors from ever ranking on page 1 or any future competitors from ranking on page 1. Kind of like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city is below sea level, fortifying against the ocean. So you're seeing, okay, you got to fortify, and you're like, oh, SQ methodology will give me that future benefit as well. That's the exact perfect tool to use to achieve that goal. And you want to achieve page 1 visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, because you know you need these things in order to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you're also looking ahead to the future and the future benefits that we haven't talked about yet of utilizing SQ methodology, which is, we're kind of building these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our brand, our website name, our business name, our name, kind of out there on the internet. And it's kind of like, columns to the, Parthenon, Athens, Greece, or, the spokes into our hub, like them in, the center of a bike tire. Our business name's the hub. So we've got all of these columns plugged into us. And what this is like building AI mindshare for those keywords: age, relevance, frequency, authority, repetition. So we're building AI mindshare for these keywords. And every day we successfully do this, which is exactly what SQ methodology does, we are increasing the probability would be recommended here in the most premium placement AI overview up at the top of Google search, which we cannot pay for with ads to get. And so you're seeing that benefit, you're liking that feature benefit. You're also understanding that, well, if it's helping with that, it will also increase probability of every single day of being recommended on AI search, ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. You're recognizing the more kind of invisible thematic keyword columns you plug into your brand, the higher and higher probability every single day recommended to searchers on those platforms. And yeah, Google still owns practically 90% of global search, but dude, AI search is growing every single day, and Google's kind of slowly decaying every single day, standard Google search. So you're recognizing that you want these benefits, and you're also recognizing, since my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, you can actually box out your competitors from ever using this strategy, get all the benefits against them, the immediate benefits, the 3 future benefits, and the 4th one would be, grown actually a known brand, approximately 8x faster than conventional methods. And you would, you're recognizing you could actually put massive distance between yourself and any of your current competitors or any future competitors, where basically you get so far ahead, there's like literally basically no chance for them to catch up. And as a result, when you actually want to, since you decide to be first mover on this, because you understand if a competing boudoir photographer hops on this first, then you'd be locked out. You'd be getting kicked off page 1 of all the highest intent Google searches. Get to page 2 and deeper, where approximately 80% of the market will never ever see you because they're page 1 and done searches. And we would actually be making up massive progress against you, boxing you out from ever getting on page 1. And me and your competitor would be building up massive momentum and invisible thematic keyword column back-end AI mindshare, kind of invisibly, with the AI search recommenders. And I remember last time I did AI search for boudoir photographers in a city, with ChatGPT, and recommended me 3. And I actually went and did manual search Google and Facebook, simply to see how many are actually out there. Dude, there's like 60. So you're seeing, yeah, we definitely gotta find some way to get on these AI searches. And you actually want, you're saying that if a competitor is making all this momentum, then making all this progress, and you're frozen out, you'd actually have to rederive SQ methodology yourself, or drive it for the first time. You would never actually trust that you've derived it 100% correctly, but then you'd have to execute same amount as us every single day. And if you did all that, you'd simply be maintaining the gap between your competitor and me and you. So you'd have to actually double or triple our effort, our output every single day. And then if you were to do that, then you could steal back some of the AI mindshare momentum from us, get some links. But you would never feel 100% confident you've even derived the strategy correct in the first place. So you'd probably not even feel confident putting in the time to do all that. Out execute us 2 to 3x every single day. And plus, who's got 80 hours a day to do that? So you decide to screw that. You decide to be the first mover in your city, block out all your competitors from using this strategy. And if that's you, shoot me a DM. The hospital is currently closed for new patients, but when I do open when I do open the hospital up for new patients, shoot us a DM and we'll see if you qualify to use our S cubed methodology.